It's a beautiful day here for the beginning of September, especially. Hi, I'm Diana Rankin, and this is the September predictions and messages for you. I'm a psychic medium, a life transformational coach, a public speaker, and an author. And I've come to the park today to talk to you about what your life is going to be like in September and how that's affecting all of us and what all of us are going to experience in September. And the geese are about, so you might hear a few geese honking at me. They seem to be over on the island behind me here. But I hope where you are, you're having as lovely of a day as I am here. What I want to mention, first of all, is I listened to some other people, some other psychics and some other speakers talk about predictions, and because I had someone ask me one time, where are the predictions? Well, I don't predict catastrophes. I don't predict horrible things that are possibly going to take place. That's not my role in the world. My role is to tell us how to keep those from happening, if at all possible. How do we stop the horrific events that might happen, and can we stop them? And what about the predictions that do come true, and what about the predictions that don't come true? What's going on here? Well, let's take a look, shall we? First of all, I think it's important that we know where predictions come from. They come from a psychic looking into what we call the future. Now, that said, I want you to know future is fluid. Future is changeable. Your future is changeable, as is my future. The world changes as we speak every day, every moment of our lives. And how does it change? How do we have control? I'm going to change that word. I don't like the word control. And instead of saying control, I'm going to say, how do we take charge of our lives so we can make our lives the best they can possibly be? And as we make our lives their best, we make the world a better place. So how do we do that? You know, Einstein tells us that actually there is no time. Now, in the Western world, we see time as linear. We see, the past, the present, and the future. In other cultures, time is circular. So time comes back on itself. So we see time as going this way, as going around and spiraling. That's harder for the Western mind to grasp, that time is circular. It's easier for us to see it as linear. And if we think about the linear time, really what it is, it's there for communication. If I say to you, you have an appointment with me tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight Time, U.S. time, we can figure out, we're communicating. We can figure out what time we're going to be speaking with each other. So we need time as a form of communication. But time is fluid and it's changeable. So as a psychic, if I'm telling you what could happen in your life tomorrow, I'm telling you the trajectory that you're on, this is the probability of what I see. So when a psychic makes predictions about something changing in the world or something happening in the world, the psychic is looking at the trajectory of this is the probability of what's going to take place because of the trajectory that the world is on at that moment in time. Well, that can change. How does it change? Each one of us has a responsibility to the change. Here's what I mean by that. Every thought I have goes out and exists forever. It goes out into the world. And as it goes out into the world, it bonds with other like thoughts. And those like thoughts then create a bond with another like thought. And so if I'm sending out doom and gloom, I'm bonding with doom and gloom thoughts. And those doom and gloom thoughts, as they get larger and larger and larger, create the actual reality in the world we inhabit. If I send out loving thoughts and I send out things that we want to experience, then those loving thoughts bond with loving thoughts, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's what creates our reality in the world. Now, am I saying everything is absolutely wonderful and everything is hunky-dory and we should never have a so-called negative thought? What I'm saying is this. If you notice, I'm sitting in shade, but there's plenty of sunlight around. And the depth of what you're looking at has to do with the play between the sun and the shade. So yes, we need the shadow. That's part of our human life. But it's how we see that shadow, it's how we react to it that will make the difference in our lives and in the greater whole of the world. So all of that said, what do I see for September? Well, it doesn't take a psychic to predict that in the U.S. and the U.S. affecting the rest of the world, that we're going to see massive anger and we're going to feel a huge upheaval because of the election. And so I'm giving a challenge to each and every one of you. You, and you. I'm challenging you to really watch your thoughts, the emotion behind it, and to watch what you're putting out into the world. It is so needed. Are you creating a tsunami that's going to hit Malaysia and Japan? Or are you creating a wave in the ocean that will stop before it reaches land? Are you creating fires in Colorado, New Mexico, and California? Or are you creating a beautiful autumn to come with peace and love? Am I saying you shouldn't get involved in the political discussion in the U.S.? Of course you should. You absolutely should. But it's how we get involved in that discussion. You know, I have friends on the entire spectrum of the political scene. And we're able to sit down as adults and discuss each other's viewpoint, why we feel the way we do, why we believe the way we do. From that, I'm able to learn because we have a civil discussion that respects one another. We don't mudsling. We don't put down the candidates. We don't yell at each other. We don't call each other names. We sit and we have a good discussion. I've tried this on social media to ask a question and see what the discussion leads to. And I'm amazed how the simplest of question comes back to the mudslinging between people on social media. That's not adding to our world. That's adding to the anger that's distracting from where we want to go in the world. So my challenge to each one of you is to be aware of all of those negative mudslinging thoughts you have toward yourself and toward others. When you have a political discussion or discussion about religion or money or any discussion, love, relationships, whatever the discussion, are you doing it with respect and with civility? Are you adding love to the world? Are you leaving a world for your own family, for your children and their children that will be greater, more loving, and better than the world we're seeing today? So you're all challenged. Wherever you live in the world, we have enough turmoil in the world. Let's not add any more to it. Let's add love to it. So that said, you have your challenge to make the predictions that I'm giving you right now. We are going to create a better world together, one breath, one word at a time. Let's check with Philip and see what messages Philip has. I'll turn the book around so you can see it. For those of you who have been following my messages every month, you know that I like to look at Philip. Philip is my spirit guide, and this is the Master's Book of Answers because Philip is a master. And each page has a different answer. So we think left page or right page. And then we just flip through and we see what message Philip has for us. You know, a lot of people tell me they keep this by their nightstand and it's the last thing they look at. They get a message for tomorrow before they go to sleep at night. I like that idea. I've been doing it myself. So as I just think left or right, I'm going to think left. And here's our message. You have only this moment. Yesterday was, tomorrow is yet to be. Today is as you choose it to be. So my friends, we only have this moment. And this moment's going to create tomorrow. Oh, let's create a much better October. Let's tamper down the anger. Let's stop the fires. Let's not live in fear of terrorists around the world, as horrific as that they are. We can stop them. We don't need bullets to stop them. We need love. It is the most powerful, powerful thing in the world that exists. Love does not mean lack of discussion. Love does not mean lack of boundaries. Love means I speak up for what I believe, but I do it with respect for your beliefs, which might be different from mine. I wish you a blessed September. Thank you for being with me today. And I just leave you with this reminder from Philip. You have only this moment. Yesterday was, tomorrow is yet to be. Today is as you choose it to be. Choose it to be a day of joy. Choose it to be a day of growing and learning, a day of respect for yourself and for all others.